Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Learn with Love. Today we are going to learn prose 2 of our new Broadway literature reader, The Tempest, written by the world's greatest dramatist, Shakespeare. Watch this video till the end and I assure you, even a second of yours will not be wasted. At the end of this class, you would have understood the story and learned the meanings of the new words. I have also given reading practice. At the end of the video, I have added a fun fact, so make sure to watch the video till the end. In the description box, I have left links for the text to read, a worksheet and solutions. Make use of them. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the class and share it with your friends. If you want me to teach any prose or poem, do tell me in the comments and I will do that for you. Come, let's learn Shakespeare's The Tempest with love. By the way, the word tempest means a violent storm. That's why this scary background picture in the thumbnail. This is William Shakespeare. He was born in Stratford-upon-Avon in England on 26th April 1564. He was a world-famous playwright and poet. Play means drama. A drama is a literary piece which is written in the form of dialogue. The main objective of any drama is to be staged or performed by actors on stage for a wide audience. One who writes a play or drama is called a playwright or dramatist. The plays of Shakespeare are celebrated, enjoyed and learned worldwide. He has written a total of 38 plays and 154 sonnets. Sonnets are poems of 14 lines. Shakespeare is not only celebrated as the father of English drama, but also as England's national poet. He is also called the Bard of Avon. Bard means poet. He is called the Bard of Avon because he was born in Stratford-upon-Avon. If you would like to know something about his personal life, Shakespeare grew up with 7 siblings. Siblings means brothers and sisters. And he got married at the age of 18 to a farmer's daughter named Anne. But Anne was 8 years older than him. When he was 18, she was 26 years old and together they had 3 children. But nobody knew where he went or what he did from 1585 to 1592. This period of 7 years are referred to as the lost years of Shakespeare. He married at the age of 18, but we don't know what he was doing and where from when he was 21 to 28 years old. But then he was found in London as an actor and playwright. Not only that, he was also a part owner of a theatre. But that was not easy for him. He was criticized and discouraged. One writer even called him an upstart cow. An upstart means someone who has come up in life socially or financially but is not fit or good enough for that position. But did he let all that discourage him? No. He worked hard and earned even the royal seal of approval. He performed for kings and queens in their courts. He bought the second largest house in Stratford and he also had property in London. But strangely, he left only a bed for his wife in his will. This legend passed away on 23rd April 1616 at the age of 52. As I mentioned already, Shakespeare wrote a total of 38 plays, and his plays can be divided into 3 types, namely tragedies, comedies, and historical plays. In a tragic play, the main character goes through a lot of difficulties and suffers and ultimately has a sad ending. And Shakespeare has written 10 tragic plays. He has written 18 comedies. Comedies are plays that involve lovers and almost always have a happy ending. In a historical play, the plot or storyline and characters or partially or sometimes even entirely taken from history. And Shakespeare has written 10 historical plays. The play which we are going to learn today, The Tempest, is a comedy. So it involves lovers and has a happy ending. In this play, there are 8 important characters. Let's see them one by one. Prospero. He is the main character of the story. He is a wizard. A wizard is a man who has real magical powers. Like Harry Potter, he is a wizard. By the way, a woman who has magical powers is called a witch. This is Miranda. She is Prospero's daughter. When the story begins, she is only a baby. She is also the only human female character in the story. This is Prospero's brother Antonio. He is a greedy man and not a very good brother to Prospero. But Prospero doesn't know that. This is Alonso. He is Prospero's enemy and he is also the king of Naples. And he has a son named Ferdinand. The next 3 characters which we are going to learn about are not human beings. They are magical creatures. This is Sycorax. She is a witch. Do you remember what the word witch means? Sycorax is a woman with magical powers. And this is Caliban, her son. This is Ariel and another magical creature. Apart from these 8 characters, there are 11 other characters in the play. Gonzalo, Stefano, Trinculo, Juno, Ceres, Adrian, Boatswain, Ares, Francisco, Master and Sebastian. But we won't be learning about these characters because we are only learning the abridged version of the story. That means we are learning the story which is shortened. I told you already that Tempest is a play and it is in the form of dialogue. But the one which we are going to read now is in the prose form because it has been shortened and retold by Andrew Matthews for easy understanding and quick learning. Prospero, the main character of our story, a wizard. How did he become a wizard? There is a story behind it. Long, long ago, he was the Duke of Milan. A duke is like a small king ruling over his own place, but he is below the ranking of a king and prince. Prospero was a duke and he lived happily with his wife and newborn child in Milan. But unfortunately, his wife died one day. He was miserable. He couldn't concentrate on ruling his kingdom. When the duke was mourning the loss of his dear wife, his jealous brother Antonio saw a chance. He plotted with Prospero's enemy Alonso, who was the king of Naples. Together, they defeated Prospero and threw him and his baby daughter Miranda into a boat and cast them off into the sea to die. But luckily, the boat ended up landing on an enchanted island, an island filled with magic. As you probably know, an island is a small piece of land that is surrounded by water on all sides. That island was ruled by a witch named Sycorax. She had imprisoned all the spirits of the island and she was ruling that island. When Prospero reached that island, he found the magic books of the witch Sycorax. Using magic from that book, he freed all the spirits that were imprisoned by Sycorax. And together, the spirits and Prospero drove Sycorax away from that island. From that time onwards, he became the ruler of that island. He and his baby daughter Miranda were the only human beings on that island. Miranda grew up on that island thinking that they were the only human beings on earth. The spirits Prospero freed became his slaves. Caliban, the son of Sycorax, was also enslaved by Prospero. Prospero was kind to all the spirits and creatures in the island. This is the background story. Before we start learning the lesson, let's quickly learn the meanings of some new words. Learning the meanings of these new words first will help us understand the story better. I tried to make this fun for you with some pictures. We already know him. This is Prospero the wizard. You see this long stick he is holding? This is called staff. A staff may be a walking stick or just a stick used as a weapon. The hair on his chin is beard. We should pronounce it as beard. Repeat after me. Beard. Beard is hair that grows on a man's chin. And the long flowing loose dress that he is wearing is robe. Flashes of bright light that occurs during rain is lightning, and the crashing noise that accompanies a lightning is thunder. Look at this little boat. Do you see this cloth-like material? It is used to catch the wind and push the boat in the right direction. This is called sail. And this long pole which is used to support or hold the sail is called the mast. Sail, mast. This is coral reef. Looks pretty, right? Coral is the skeleton of tiny marine animals called polyps. And coral reefs are rocks which are formed by the deposits of coral. Enchanted means magical or under a magic spell. It can also mean filled with delight. For example, the audience were enchanted by her performance. And what are spells? Spells are just magical words like abracadabra or Engardium Leviosa. And revenge means hurting someone who hurt us first. Strange means unusual or surprising, something that is difficult to understand or explain. And tattered means torn. Now the story that you all been waiting for. Listen carefully. There was a violent storm in Prospero's island. Prospero was standing on a beach near the mouth of his cave. That means the entrance of his cave. He and his daughter were the only human beings on that island, remember? So they probably didn't have any house to live in and lived in a cave instead. Prospero's robes and hair was beating about in the wind. He was looking at a ship on the sea. Do you know who was in that ship? Prospero's brother Antonio, his enemy Alonso, the king of Naples, and Ferdinand, the prince. With his magic, Prospero had brought their ship there. He had a plan. The storm seemed to be so angry. The ship's masts were already broken and its sails were tattered. They were torn, and the ship was rolling about helplessly in the storm. The storm seemed to be pushing it towards a coral reef. And if the ship hit the rock, surely everyone in it would die. Prospero raised his left hand and there was thunder. He raised the staff in his right hand and there was lightning. Wait, something seems wrong, right? Did you notice it? Usually we see lightning first and hear thunder next because light travels faster than sound. But here the exact opposite is happening. Do you know why? Because this was not a real storm. It was caused by Prospero with his magic. Miranda, not a baby anymore but a lovely young woman, came running out of the cave. She had realized what was happening and called out loudly to her father. But he was focused on his mission. He didn't seem to hear her at all, and if he did, he took no notice. She shouted again to her father, "Father, what are you doing? Everyone on that ship will die if you don't stop this storm. Please stop this storm." She begged her father to stop the storm. At the same time, she heard the great ship crashing against the great rock. It had happened. Now the ship would definitely sink and all aboard would die. Aboard means all on the ship would die. Only then Prospero put down his hands. Wait, has he killed everybody? When Prospero put down his hands, the storm immediately stopped. The clouds cleared and the sun glinted on the island. He turned to her daughter and said gently, "Don't worry, Miranda. No one in that ship has been hurt. Something wrong has been done to us long, long ago, and I'm using my magic to make everything right." Now Miranda became curious. She wanted to know what was wrong and who the people on the ship were. She was puzzled and she frowned in thought. She had so many questions, but Prospero was impatient. He had so many works to do and he didn't have the patience to answer her questions. So do you know what he did? He put her into an enchanted sleep. Enchanted means magical. He just said some magic words and put her to sleep, and she was there standing and sleeping. Now Prospero was free to do his work without any disturbance. Thank goodness our parents and teachers don't have this power, right? Then we would be spending the better part of the day in enchanted sleeps, I think. And at that time, Prospero saw something creeping behind his daughter. It was Caliban, his slave. Do you remember who Caliban was? He was the son of Sycorax, whom Prospero chased away from the from the island. Caliban looked like a human, but was covered with green-colored scales all over his body. Scales are those small, thin, bony plates that cover the skin of fish and some reptiles. Yes, Caliban's body was covered with scales, and his eyes were yellow like a lizard's. Prospero did not like Caliban. He hated Caliban because once he tried to kidnap Miranda. He betrayed Prospero's trust. He was treacherous. Treacherous means disloyal. And as Prospero's slave, it was the duty of Caliban to bring water and firewood to the cave. So he would serve Prospero. But on that day he did not do any work and he didn't bring any firewood or water. So Prospero threatened him. He threatened to send the spirits after him and torture him as punishment for being lazy. But Caliban was not afraid. He argued to Prospero, "I am not your slave. My mother Sycorax ruled this island. After her, I should have been the king. I will never obey you," he shouted at Prospero. And then Prospero got angry. It was time to teach this Caliban a lesson, Prospero thought, and he snapped his fingers. And by magic, needles of fire seemed to attack Caliban. It was unbearable. Caliban screamed in pain and he fell to his knees. He begged to his master for mercy. And Prospero pitied him and finally let him go. But while shambling away, that means while walking awkwardly away, he muttered to himself that one day he would get his revenge on Prospero and that he would become the king of the island with Miranda as queen by his side. Children, let's read what we have learned so far and then continue with the story. Never skip the reading part. You see, the main objective of learning any prose piece is to enhance your listening skill, build your vocabulary, understand the passage, and most importantly, to read with correct pronunciation, stress, intonation, pause, and articulation of voice. So please, let's not skip this part. Don't be shy. Enjoy and read aloud. After me, a violent storm was raging over the island. On a beach, Not far from the mouth of his cave stood Prospero the wizard. His white hair and beard streaming out in the wind. His black robes flapping around him. Flapping means to move up and down. As he raised his left hand, thunder rumbled. He lifted the staff in his right hand, and forked lightning crackled, flickering like snakes' tongues across the inky clouds. Out at sea, a ship with broken masts and tattered sails rolled about helplessly as the storm drove it towards a jagged coral reef. A lovely young woman in a white gown hurried out of the cave and ran towards Prospero. Her dark hair whipping about her face. Whipping means beating about her face. She caught the wizard by the sleeve and called out, "Father!" Prospero seemed not to hear her. His eyes stayed firmly fixed on the ship. "Father!" shouted the young woman. "What are you doing? Everyone aboard that ship will be killed." Above the sound of the wind came a groaning crash of timber striking rock. A huge wave roared like a startled horse. Roared means started, and thundered down on the ship. Prospero lowered his hands. The wind dropped to a gentle breeze, and the sun glinted on a calm sea. "No one has been harmed, Miranda," said Prospero. "Everything is as planned. For your sake, I have used my magic to help right a great wrong done long ago." "What is wrong, Father?" Miranda asked with a puzzled frown. "Enough," said Prospero. He moved his left hand in front of Miranda's face, and she fell into an enchanted sleep where she stood. Prospero took 2 paces towards the sea. Looking out at the place where the ship had sunk. "Soon, my brother," he whispered. Whisper means to say softly. A sound made him turn his head in time to see a strange creature creeping up behind Miranda. It was shaped like a man, but its skin was covered with glistening green scales, and its eyes were yellow as a lizard's. I'm sorry, let's repeat that. And its eyes were as yellow as a lizard's. Caliban, Prospero said sternly. Sternly means strictly. You brought no wood or water to the cave this morning. Must I send the spirits to trouble you again? Caliban scowled. That means he looked angrily at Prospero. I was not born to be your servant, he answered defiantly. My mother, the great witch Sycorax, promised me that I would rule this island, and so I would have if you had not come here and stolen her books of magic and freed her slave spirits to help you drive her away. Silence, said Prospero, and he snapped his fingers. Needles of fire seemed to poke Caliban, forcing him to his knees. Mercy, master, mercy, he cried, bowing his head. The pain left him, and he hid his face so that Prospero could not see his cunning smile. Why are you so cruel? He whimpered. You were kind to me once, and you repaid my kindness by trying to kidnap my daughter, snapped Prospero. Get to work, you treacherous wretch. Caliban stood and shambled off. Shamble means to walk slowly and awkwardly. I will be revenged one day, he muttered to himself. I will be king of this island, and I will take Miranda as my queen. Let's look at the meanings of some new words before we continue with the story. Wander means to walk here and there aimlessly. Mourn is to feel or show sorrow at the death of someone. Destiny is the hidden power which some people believe controls their future. Grief means great sadness, sorrow, and mischief is just playful misbehavior, naughtiness. That is mischief. Listen carefully. When Caliban was safely out of sight, Prospero called Ariel. Who is Ariel? Ariel was one of the spirits which was imprisoned by Sycorax. But when Prospero came to that island, he freed Ariel. Prospero liked Ariel very much. He was mischievous and he looked like a young boy with golden skin. He could even fly because he had wings on his heels. And other than that, he had a very special ability. He was a shapeshifter. He could take the shape of any being. And above all that, he was truthful and loyal to Prospero. Like the heroes in movies, Ariel always appeared in style. Before he appeared, there was faint music in the air and there was twinkling lights like sunlight on bubbles, and Ariel appeared in the midst. He darted, that means ran around, or in this case, he flew around Prospero's head naughtily and Prospero laughed. Do you remember I told you Prospero had a plan and Ariel was helping Prospero to carry out his plan. Prospero had asked Ariel to make sure that none of the sailors on the ship were hurt. He asked him to make sure that these sailors were scattered on the island. And now Ariel reported to him, Master, as you asked for, the sailors of the ship are scattered in the island. Scatter means disperse or break up in different directions. And Prospero asked him about the young prince Ferdinand. Where is Ferdinand? Ariel replied that he was close by and was mourning the death of his father. See children, Ferdinand only thought that his father was dead, but his father Alonso was on another part of the island with his friend Antonio. And they were thinking that Ferdinand was dead and they were mourning the death of Ferdinand. Remember, mourn means to feel or show sorrow at the death of someone. And all this misunderstanding was part of Prospero's plan. After all these years, Prospero opened up his heart and poured his feelings to Ariel. He said how he was betrayed or cheated by his own brother and how he was driven away from his kingdom and abandoned at sea to die with his baby daughter. Listening to this story, Ariel felt so sorry for Prospero. He was angry. And he thought that this was the right time for Prospero to get his revenge on his brother Antonio and his enemy Alonso. Revenge means to hurt someone back because they hurt us first. But then Prospero said the sweetest thing ever. He said he doesn't want revenge. He only wanted justice. He only wanted to make everything right again. His daughter was a princess. He wanted her to live the life of a princess. He didn't want her living in a cave alone. See how forgiving he is. Even though he was cruelly left to die in a boat with his daughter by his own brother, he was still ready to forgive. He didn't want to hurt the people who hurt him back. Children, I think this should be our takeaway from this lesson, to be forgiving. Prospero also promised to set Ariel free once his mission was accomplished. And he sent Ariel to bring Ferdinand to him. Let's read. Please repeat after me. Avoid just listening to the audio. Don't be shy and read aloud with me. When you read aloud with me, you will be engaged and the class would be interesting. It would also improve your reading. When Caliban was safely out of sight, Prospero lifted his staff. Ariel, he called softly. Appear to me now, sweet spirit. There was a faint sound of music. Light sparkled in the air, winking like sunshine on bursting bubbles. In the midst of the lights fluttered a young boy with golden skin and white wings on his heels. He smiled at Prospero and darted playfully around his head. Prospero laughed. "Faithful Ariel," he said. "Or the sailors scattered over the island as I commanded?" "They are, good master," said Ariel, his voice like the gentle humming of a harp. "And where is Ferdinand, the king of Naples' son?" Prospero demanded. "Close by," said Ariel. "He mourns his father, believing him to be drowned." "He is not drowned," said Prospero. "He wanders the island, lost with my brother Antonio." Prospero sighed. Sigh is a long, deep, audible breath like "ha." Prospero sighed, and old memories gave his face a far-off look. 12 years ago, when I was Duke of Milan, my wife died, he said softly. Grief blinded me to the treachery of Antonio, who plotted in secret with my old enemy, King Alonso of Naples. They overthrew me, and Antonio took my place. I was put in an open boat with my daughter and cast adrift to die. But destiny took me to this island, to Sycorax's magic books, and you. My spells brought the ship here, and now it is time for mischief and magic. And revenge, master, said Ariel. Prospero shook his head. I do not seek revenge, only justice, he said. Go to Prince Ferdinand and bring him here. Ariel's eyes darkened into doubt. Will it be as you promised, master? When your plan is done, will I be free? as the wind, my Ariel, said Prospero. I will break my spells, and no magic will ever hold you again. Ariel glowed brightly and flew off faster than Prospero's eyes could follow. Do you remember Prince Ferdinand, the Prince of Naples, the son of Prospero's enemy Alonso? He was on the ship, and when the ship crashed on a rock, the waves washed him ashore the island. He found a rock and sat on it. He was completely drenched. That means he was completely wet. He was very handsome and he had beautiful brown hair. But he looked very sad. He thought that the others, the sailors, his father and his friend and everybody on the ship had drowned and died. Whenever he closed his eyes, he was reminded of the scary storm and the huge waves. He even thought of going into the sea and drowning himself. He just didn't wish to live anymore. Everyone he loved was dead, or so he thought. And when he was deep in thought, he saw twinkling lights in front of him. Can you guess who it was? It was our Ariel. And without a word, Ferdinand followed Ariel. Ariel took Ferdinand to Prospero, and Ferdinand was close enough. Prospero awoke Miranda. Do you remember in the beginning of the story he put her into an enchanted sleep? Only now he is awaking her. And Miranda, when she opened her eyes, she saw Ferdinand. Miranda, who had never seen a human being other than her father in her life, wondered if he was a spirit. And Ferdinand himself, who had never seen such a beautiful woman, wondered if he was dreaming and if she was only a vision. Vision means imagination. But our Prospero assured them both that they were real and they fell in love. It was love at first sight. And Prospero had predicted this already by seeing the stars. He already knew that they were meant for each other. And now for his brother and Alonso, he had other plans. See, Prospero wanted them to suffer just a little bit as punishment for what they had done to him. He had a brilliant plan. Before we learn of his plans, let's quickly read these passages. Prince Ferdinand was seated cross-legged on the sand. Salt water and the sun had bleached his brown hair almost blonde, and his handsome face was lined with sadness. Whenever he closed his eyes, he saw the massive waves. Massive means huge, that had swallowed the ship and cast him upon this island. He might never be found. He wondered if it would be better to swim out to sea and join his drowned father than face a life of miserable loneliness. His thoughts were interrupted suddenly by lights dancing in front of his face, swarming like bees. Without a word, he followed where the lights led him. Prospero saw Ferdinand from afar, following bewitched behind Ariel's glimmering lights. When the young prince was close by, Prospero touched Miranda on the shoulder, releasing her from the spell. Instantly she woke, and the first thing she saw was Ferdinand. "Is this a spirit, father?" she gasped. "No, my child. It is a man of flesh and blood, like you and me," Prospero told her. "But I thought all men had white hair and beards, like yours," Miranda exclaimed. Prospero smiled and signaled to Ariel. The dancing lights vanished, and Ferdinand's trance was broken. He saw Miranda, and his eyes filled with wonder at her beauty. "Am I still dreaming?" he whispered. Whisper means to say softly. "Is this a vision?" "I am no vision, sir," Miranda said. "I am as real as you are, if you are indeed real." Shyly, she reached out her hand. Ferdinand reached out his hand, and their fingertips touched. "I saw in the stars that you were meant for each other," Prospero said softly. "Your love will undo all the evil done by hatred." Miranda and Ferdinand heard nothing of this, for they were totally lost in each other. "Ariel," said Prospero, "find King Alonso and my brother Antonio. And when you do—" Ariel listened carefully, and before long, the air was bright with his laughter. Let's quickly learn the meanings of some more new words. First word is bewitched. Bewitched and enchanted mean the same. It means to cast a spell over something. In this picture, a little girl has cast a magic spell on the feather and she is making it fly. So that feather is bewitched. Desperate means to want something very badly. The poor little duck in this picture is desperately in need of some water. Wreck is a badly damaged vehicle or building. In this picture, you see a shipwreck. If you had gone on long rides in hot places, you would have seen water on the road. But when you go near, there wouldn't be any water. That is merely an illusion caused by the heat. It is not real, and that is called mirage in English. Mirage. Mirages are also seen on pavements and deserts. Our next word is hover. Hover means to stay in the same place but on air. Look at this magician. He is hovering on air on his magic carpet. And cartwheel means to turn head over heels like a wheel, like in this picture. Another word for cartwheel is somersault. Now we are going to learn what punishment Prospero has prepared for King Alonso and his brother Antonio. So these two were washed ashore on another end of the island. They were also drenched. Their clothes got caught in thorns and they were torn. And they were tired after struggling for so long with the storm. It was very hot and they were dripping with sweat. They were hungry and thirsty and tired, and above all that they were heartbroken, for they thought that their dear Prince Ferdinand was dead. His father Alonso was grief-stricken, and like his son, he also decided to die. But his friend Antonio convinced him to walk a little further, giving him hope that there might be water ahead to drink. And then they found a small clearing in the forest. Clearing means a small space in the forest without trees. And like a mirage, right there in the clearing was a big table set with delicious food. Is it possible, children? A set table in the middle of a forest? No, but here it was. There were bread and meat and wine all set in golden plates and jugs. They were so hungry that they ran towards the table to grab some drink and food. But only then they noticed a huge harpy flying above the table. Harpy is a monster. It has the body of a human being and the head of an eagle. It had sharp talons. I'm very sorry. A harpy is a monster which has the head of a human being and body of an eagle. And it had sharp talons. Talon is the sharp claw or nail of birds. And the talons of the harpy were huge, sharp and scary. The harpy didn't harm them, but whenever they tried to touch the food or drink, it threatened to attack them. Here they were starving and thirsty, and here there was an entire table of delicious food set before them, but they were not allowed to touch it. Finally, Antonio couldn't bear it anymore. He cried, "Oh Spirit, why do you torture us so?" And to his surprise, the harpy replied. It talked to him. It said, "This is your punishment for betraying Prospero and his daughter. Do you remember? You threw them in a boat and left them in an ocean to die." Antonio and Alonso were shocked. How did this harpy find out their secret? They were so frightened. They thought that their end has come. They thought that as punishment, that harpy was going to tear them apart and kill them. But to their surprise, the harpy disappeared into thin air. and in its place appeared golden twinkling lights. Yes, children, it was not a real monster. It was our Ariel. He had used his shape-shifting ability to scare Alonso and Antonio as Prospero had instructed him. He cast a magic spell on both of them and led them to Prospero. Let's read. King Alonso and Antonio had also been wandering through the jungle for hours, and now they were desperate with thirst and hunger. Their fine clothes, ripped by cruel thorns, hung around them in tatters, and sweat streamed down their faces. Alonso, certain that Ferdinand was dead, was stricken with grief, and at last he slumped to the trunk of a fallen tree. Slump means to sit heavily. I can go no further. He groaned. I will wait here for death to put an end to my misery. Antonio glanced around uneasily. The jungle was an eerie place, full of shadows and whispering voices. Just a little further, my lord, he said. I see a clearing not far ahead. Perhaps we will find a spring of fresh water there. The thought of water urged Alonso to his feet, and together the two men stumbled towards the edge of the clearing. Like a mirage in the middle of the clearing stood a long table piled with food and drink. Golden platters of meat, baskets of bread, and golden jugs of wine. Alonso and Antonio hurried towards it. But before they could reach the feast, there was a dazzling flash of light, and Ariel appeared. He hovered over the table in the shape of a harpy, a monster with a human head and the body of a gigantic eagle. Gigantic means huge. Alonso tried to snatch a jug of wine, but the harpy hissed and slashed at him with its bronze talons. Foul spirit, why do you trouble us? Antonio sobbed, "For your betrayal of your brother Prospero and niece Miranda." The harpy screeched, "You and King Alonso set them in a boat and left them to the mercy of the ocean. Prepare for your punishment." Alonso and Antonio stared in amazement, wondering how the spirit had discovered their guilty secret. They expected the harpy to tear them into pieces, but instead it faded into a cloud of tiny lights that swirled like specks of dust floating in a beam of sunlight. The two men felt themselves fall into a waking sleep and heard a voice speaking to them out of the cloud. "Come," it said, "follow, follow." Ariel led Antonio and Alonso to Prospero. Even the sailors gathered near Prospero's cave. They were all so happy to find out that no one had died. Everything felt like a dream to them because the ship, which had clearly crashed during the storm, was anchored, good as new to the shore. First, Antonio and Alonso saw Ferdinand and Miranda walking hand in hand. They were so happy to see them. But when they saw Prospero, they were so ashamed, especially his brother Antonio. He was so ashamed that he could not even meet Prospero's eyes. He hung his head in shame. But Prospero gently touched his brother's shoulder and told him that he had forgiven him. He turned to Alonso and said to him, "Let our old hate be ended by the young love of our children." He wanted to go back to Milan and rule it together in peace. He was ready to leave the island forever with his daughter. He had even burnt his books already. Finally, after all the preparations to leave the island was over, he went to free and bid goodbye to Ariel. Ariel was so excited to be free that he could not hold to one shape. He kept changing his shape from a hummingbird to a butterfly and then to a winged unicorn. But they were also sad to part ways. Ariel promised to visit Prospero, and when everyone left the island, Caliban came out of his hiding place in the jungle. Now his dream has come true, and he shouted happily as he was now the king of that island. From all over the island, the crew of the wrecked ship came together on the beach near Prospero's cave, drawn there by magic. The sailors rejoiced to see friends they thought had perished and gazed about in wonder. Perished means died. Had the storm only been a dream? Or were they dreaming now? For there was their ship, undamaged, anchored close to the shore. The sailors laughed and scratched their heads, unable to believe their luck. Ariel brought Alonso and Antonio to the mouth of Prospero's cave and broke their trance. Alonso gasped as Ferdinand and Miranda stepped out of the darkness, hand in hand, and his blue eyes, I'm very sorry, and his eyes blurred with tears. What wonderful new world is this that has such people in it? He wondered. The world that will be made when we return to Naples and our children are joined in marriage, said a voice. Alonso and Antonio turned and saw Prospero standing behind them. Antonio could not meet his brother's eyes and hung his head in shame. Let our old hate be ended by their young love, Alonso, Prospero said. He came forward and placed his hand on Antonio's shoulder. I forgive you, brother, he said. We will rule Milan together and end our days in peace. Now go down to the shore and make ready to leave this island forever. Are you coming, father? Asked Miranda. In a moment, my child, Prospero said. He waited until he was alone, then whispered, Ariel. Ariel grew out of emptiness, too excited to hold one shape. He turned into a hummingbird, then a butterfly, then a winged unicorn. I have burned my books of magic and my wizard's staff, Prospero declared. You are free to go, my Ariel, but I shall sadly miss you. And I shall miss you, dear master, said Ariel. But look for me in springtime blossom, or when the summer breeze stirs your curtain, or when the winter stars blaze bright. Until then, farewell. Farewell means goodbye. Farewell, sweet spirit, said Prospero, and he turned away so that Ariel would not see the tears in his eyes. As the ship's sails unfurled and it began to glide away, Caliban came out of his hiding place in the jungle. He danced on the beach, turning cartwheels as he whooped, "I am king of the island, king!" And that, my children, is how the story ends. Time for the fun fact. This is planet Uranus. It has 27 moons. Let's read the names of few of these moons. Okay? Miranda, Caliban, Sycorax, Prospero, Setebos, Trinculo, Ferdinand. Have you heard these names elsewhere? Yes, these are the names of characters in the play which we just learned. Actually, 24 of the 27 planets are named after characters in Shakespeare's plays. We have come to the end of the class. I hope you enjoyed it and it was useful to you. Thank you very much for patiently listening to my class. It's time to say goodbye. Let's meet again in my next class. Love you all. Bye bye.